Welcome to Growing Your Team, a podcast designed for small business owners seeking to grow their company with the help of employees and contractors. Your time is limited, which means growing and leveraging teams is essential for business success. The Growing Your Team podcast is the place to learn tips and techniques designed to help you know when it's the right time to hire, how to select perfect fit team members, and how to maximize productivity while creating a positive work environment. Drawing from her 10-plus years of leadership and hiring experience, here is your host, Jamie Van Kuyk.
Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. Today, we're talking about posting pay on a job posting. This is a topic that I have received many questions on lately, and it's one I feel is very important. So today, I'm going to tell you what I think you should do and why. To start off, I 100% believe that you should post the pay on a job posting. Why? Because pay is an important part of the job, and not all companies pay the same. You should be transparent with candidates so they know before they ever have to take time to submit their resume or interview for the position, if it's a position they can even accept. People have bills to pay. Typically, they have housing and other things that they already live in, and most candidates need to sustain their current way of life. So you want candidates to understand what you are willing to pay, what that range is, so they can see if it's something that is even feasible for them. And if they are a candidate that's looking for a new opportunity because they think they deserve increased pay based on their skills and what they can contribute, you want that candidate to know if your business is the place where they can do that. Whenever this question comes up, what I always ask is, what are you trying to hide by not posting the pay? Why would you want a candidate to go through your process and then surprise them with what they can earn? So you want to be transparent and upfront, and one of the ways to do this is by ensuring you always post the pay on the job posting. Some job boards give you a place to post the pay, other ones do not. So make sure if they're not giving you a place to post the pay, that you're doing so in the job description area. So don't forget to put it, because this is important. Like I said, I always ask the question of, what are you hiding? And I feel that most companies that don't want to post the pay that I have talked to, it is because they want to decide what they're going to pay based on the candidate that they end up offering the position to. Thinking that, maybe I can pay someone less than I would initially have wanted to, and I want to make sure I don't pigeon myself into a number. I cannot disagree more with that comment. You should have a range for the position and already know what would make someone fall into the lower part of the range, and what would make someone fall into the top part of the range, and what would make it so someone falls in the middle. Saying that you're going to wait to decide what this range is or put a number out there until you interview candidates is not good business practice. The position should be worth a certain amount to your company, and that is what you should offer. If you can't offer that, then you need to relook at the position. So just throwing out numbers, let's say your budget is between $50,000 and $60,000. If that is your budget, if that is what you determine is the pay, the good pay for this position based on what they're doing and the market rate, and then you say, well, I can get away with paying this candidate $45,000, you're chipping that person out. And if they're not worth the range that you intended to pay because you're seeing something that makes them see less worthy, you have to ask yourself, why are you hiring them? Is it truly that they are not qualified for the job and you are going with somebody that is under the candidate you would want to hire if you had your choice? If so, why? And If the case is, well, those are the type of candidates that I'm getting, or I realize that this person has a lot of potential and could grow into that, that is one thing that you're acknowledging that this person is not who you initially went out to hire. But still, then that means that you're not hiring them for the position that you posted. You're hiring them for a different position that has the opportunity to grow into the position that you posted. And that's something that you should be transparent about. You can say, we posted the position X, but based on your experience, we think we would like to invite you to our team, but offer you the position of Y. This position has the potential to grow into X, but we really need someone who has X amount of years of experience if they're coming from the outside. So therefore, that candidate has the opportunity to say, yes, I'll take that opportunity, or no. If it's not someone that you would change the position for and offer a different position because you realize, you know what, I could do this position versus that position in the company to get this person in the door, you have to ask yourself, why else are you trying to offer this person less money? Is it biases that's making you think that they deserve less money? One case recently, I had a client that looked at how many years this person had been in the industry, assumed that the person was lying about what they were making, and decided to put a lowball offer out there against advice. And guess what happened? The person turned down the offer because they said, why would I take a cut in pay to go work for you? Said it a little differently, but that was the gist of it. And one thing I want to be clear with that example is we didn't ask the candidate what they made. There's a lot of states out there where it is illegal to ask a candidate what they are currently making or what they've made at any of their past jobs. So we don't advise asking candidates what they have been paid. You should be paying them based on what you determined was the good rates for the position before you started the hiring process. Here at Growing Your Team, we help every one of our clients figure out what the pay should be for that position. We look at the title, we look at the roles and responsibilities, and we look at where your business is located to determine what the going rate should be, what you should pay somebody. That way, when they go out and post the pay range on a job posting, they know where they are competitively in the market. And in the cases where a clients of ours want to hire for X position, but we realize that their budget is too low, we help them figure out what is the position that falls within their budget. You can't get really high-end titles and pay entry level wages. It's not going to work in your favor to say, I want someone with all this experience, but yet I'm only going to pay him this, which is the same as someone would get paid if they had no experience. So we help them understand what the pay should be for their position, and if they can't afford it, how to adjust the position to be something that they can afford. So it might mean going for someone who has 1 to 3 years of experience instead of going for someone who has 5+ years of experience. It might mean doing something a little bit more junior, or taking some of these roles and responsibilities off this team member's plate and adding them on later once they prove themselves and you have the ability to give them that additional money. So to wrap up for today, always know what you're going to pay somebody before you start the hiring process. And it doesn't have to be the exact number, it can be a range, but know the range that you are willing to pay someone when you go and start the process. Then post that range on the posting so someone is aware. And one more thing I guess I'll add to that before I wrap up, make sure the range is not a ridiculous range. So I've seen ranges before where it's an $80,000 range. So they'll say the position's anywhere between $40,000 and $120,000. That is a very big range. Someone making $40,000 a year is completely different than someone making $120,000 a year. So make sure your range is realistic, that someone at that level could be making anywhere between X and Z. Don't put these ranges that you think are going to entice people in, but then be like, well, we're going to pay you at this really small low end of it because your range is so wide, and clients or candidates aren't happy. And candidates a lot of times also won't apply if the range is so big that they don't know what they're coming into. And then also, if you're doing sales with commission, sometimes it's very nice to lay out what the base pay is and then what the potential is with commission, and make sure it's realistic. There was once a client that I was working with where there was a lot of potential with commission. The people could earn a lot of money with commission, and they wanted to post those ranges. However, they then said, but they'll never make that until they're about 5 years in. Well, then that's not the commission rate we're going to post on the job posting. We're not going to say you have the potential of making $250,000 if they're never going to make that in the first year. If they're never going to make that in year 2 or even year 3, it needs to be realistic to what they could make that first year. So make sure you're posting the pay on your job posting. Do not hide things. Be transparent with your candidates so they don't waste their time talking to you and you don't waste your time talking to them if it is not going to be a fit pay-wise. Are you ready to hire a new team member for your business and you want to ensure you hire the person who can succeed in the role, make you happy, and positively impact your bottom line? Then set up time and let's talk, because this is exactly how I help business owners like you. When you go through my Hire framework, not only will you learn how to attract candidates who have the passion you desire, but you'll be able to identify and select candidates who have the skills you need and can succeed in the role. Going through this consulting process not only helps you find the right new hire for your current open position, but it teaches you how to repeat this process with every new position you add to your company as it continues to grow. So if you're a small business owner who is ready to hire, has a rough idea of the position you need to add, and you're tired of going through the hiring process only to end up with bad fitting team members, then let's talk. Send me an email at jamie@growingyourteam.com. That's Jamie, Jamie, @growingyourteam.com, or head on over to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart and let's talk about your hiring needs.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Growing Your Team with your host, Jamie Van Kuyt. Be sure to subscribe and head on over to growingyourteam.com to connect, access the show notes, and discover more ways to hire and leverage your perfect fit team.